Now to Washington. Sources tell ABC News President Biden is considering preemptive pardons before President-elect Trump takes office next month. In discussions with senior aides, Biden is reportedly weighing the possibility of protecting current and former officials that his administration believes could be targeted under the Trump administration. This after the president made waves last week when he officially pardoned his son Hunter Biden after publicly stating multiple times that he would not. ABC News legal contributor and author of Pardon Power, How the Pardon System Works and Why, Kim Wehle joins me now for more. Kim, thank you so much for being with us this morning. Some of the potential names being floated for these pardons includes retired General Mark Milley, former GOP Representative Liz Cheney, Senator-elect Adam Schiff, Dr. Anthony Fauci. Do you think this action is really necessary to protect those officials? And is there a legal precedent for preemptive pardons?
Well, there's a lot of controversy already floating around this idea. I've been on the side that I think it is an important thing for the Biden administration to seriously consider because we're in a new moment with the Justice Department. The incoming president-elect Donald Trump tried in his last term to use the Justice Department to go after his political enemies. His attorneys general at the time refused to do that. Presumably Chris Wray, his appointee FBI director, has 3 years left in his term, also refused to do that, which is why he's proposed to replace him, presumably, with Kesh Patel. So I think these are really protective pardons because Trump, if he moves forward on these prosecutions, would be undermining the justice system and the rule of law. So it's really Joe Biden responding to the moment, which is a very grave and serious moment. There certainly are historical precedents for broadly worded pardons. Jimmy Carter pardoned draft dodgers in the Vietnam War, didn't name them, didn't necessarily have any indictments against those folks or courts martials in place. Also, Richard Nixon was pardoned by Gerald Ford for unenumerated crimes, things that hadn't actually been charged. So it's not unprecedented to do this. It's unprecedented that there's a need to do this by virtue of Donald Trump promising to use the Justice Department for vengeance.
And Kim Wehle, I apologize for mispronouncing your last name there. The Hunter Biden pardon came down last week after many public declarations from the president that he would not pardon his son, saying that he wouldn't out of respect for the law. What are legal scholars saying about this move?
That's a campaign promise, arguably, that, he thought he was running or he thought Kamala Harris was going to be president. And, campaign promises are broken. Donald Trump argued that he had nothing to do with Project 2025, and now he's populating the federal government with those folks. So the Hunter Biden pardon, because he's a family member, I think got people upset, and because of those promises. But of course, Bill Clinton pardoned his brother. Donald Trump pardoned the father of his son-in-law, who he's now appointed or plans to appoint as ambassador to France. And Hunter Biden, these were low-level crimes that were committed while he was in relapse with a serious drug addiction after his brother, Beau, died of brain cancer. So even under traditional criteria for a mercy pardon, I think if Hunter Biden didn't have the name Biden and was just Joe Schmendrick, that pardon would not trigger this kind of reaction. It wasn't corrupt in a self-interested, aggrandize my power, cover up my crimes type of way that we've seen with past presidents.
And so to that point, I want to ask you, President-elect Trump has said that he would pardon January 6th rioters. What are you watching for, and who else is he expected to pardon once he takes office? What do you make if he does pardon those January 6th rioters?
So that's a different story, right? Because that could produce more violence. There was a survey done this summer, both Republicans and Democrats who answered that did not want to see those January 6 folks pardoned. Many of them were violent, and presumably they might also respond with retribution against people that did not adhere to the big lie and the Stop the Steal campaign. So that, I think, would be troubling. But just to remember, it still would be within Donald Trump's authority. The pardon power is very, very broad in the Constitution. The Supreme Court last summer in the immunity ruling underscored that it is really above the law. So let's hope that doesn't happen. But if it happens, then the fallout will be evident. And I guess the political process would have to kick in to hold Donald Trump accountable for any aftermath of that. That's unpleasant.
Wild times we're living in. ABC News legal contributor and author of Pardon Power, How the Pardon System Works and Why, Kim Wehle. Thank you so much for being with us to talk through all of this.